Llega una voz que conocerás. Te invito al viaje que
Welcome back to AI to Discuss, the podcast where we explore how to artificial intelligence is transforming business, life, and leadership. Today's guest is a powerhouse of insights. Ben Chai, a serial entrepreneur, CEO, educator, digital creator, and former trainer for Microsoft. He's someone who has built bridges between industries, technology, and human potential. In this episode, we will dive deep into how AI is reshaping sales, marketing, brand building, and many topics more, and how leaders like you can ride this wave to stay competitive, creative, and ahead of the curve. Whether you're a solopreneur, a small business, or a company leader, this conversation is full of real value and practical inspiration. So let's go. Hi, Ben. How are you?
Hi, Jose. What do you think of my AI avatar?
I like a lot.
And this is the great thing about AI. You don't actually need to be on screen anymore. You just have a virtual you created by AI.
Yes, of course. But you look good, Ben. You look
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you. So, where should
Welcome,
we start?
Ben. Oh, well, I'm going to ask you some questions because I know your time is gold. And thank you so much for being here and at AI to the Sky. And I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and if you can give us some advices, especially to the people that are with entrepreneurs, like young people and people in business, about AI and about many fields that you already know. So let
Right.
me ask you one question. You have worn many hats: a CEO, a speaker, a trainer, a digital creator. Can you tell us how all these things connects in today's world of AI?
Uh, yeah. So everything you name it, it connects into AI. I started my life as an administrator, and if I had AI back in those days, I would have probably had AI help me with writing some of the emails to people. Then I moved into being in procurement, and I would have had AI look at the contracts and tell me the strengths and the weaknesses of the contract and where a potential, I'm the buyer, so where the potential seller had hidden there's little clauses that
Mhm.
you don't see. So would have had AI, and I would say, AI, can you find any clauses in this contract that could potentially impact the company I'm working for? Then I moved from there into sales, and for sales, as a novice salesperson, I would have had AI training me on sales. Back then, we didn't have the internet, so as you know, on the internet you can get lots of sales training using YouTube because
Yes.
that has a great amount of value and educational courses which you can get for free in YouTube. But with AI, I can also ask about specific situations that I'm dealing with. So I could say, hey, we're quoting. So I worked for one of the first PC companies in the world. Back then, it was all mainframes. And so I've seen every new innovation, actually. And I've always been told, Ben, why are you doing that? That's stupid. And back then, you made all your money by being a programmer or an engineer with mainframes. So there I was in one of the first startup PC companies. So
Oh, yeah.
uh, I, so in sales, I can use AI to actually talk about the customer, talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the customer, and then I can create business proposals based on that customer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely, Ben.
I,
So,
I
and
literally would, for example, give me a
mhm.
company that you would think that just make up a company for me to create a scenario where I would use AI because I wanted to sell something to that company. So say I sold, I don't know, pencils. Just make it up,
Mhm.
pencils, right? And what kind of
Company
that I want to
company
sell pencils to?
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're solicitors, I would use AI because AI has a built-in search facility to tell me everything about your business, and it'll give me a complete report. Then I would ask for the strengths and weaknesses of your company and where potentially I could sell pencils into your company.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure
Okay.
anyone would use pencils today, so because everyone's using computers and so on. Maybe I should say to an architect company, they're more likely to use pencils. So
Yeah.
so I would. So in fact, this is even better. I would ask AI because I'm a novice salesperson, what
Mhm.
industries are most likely to use pencils? So AI will then give me all the industries. Then I would
That's a
say
great
to
start.
AI, then I would say to AI, okay, can you give me the 3 industries which will buy the most pencils? Then I would say, what is the biggest cluster of those companies? Or I live in London. Can you give me the all the companies within a 10-mile radius of me? Because that's just easy for me to travel to,
Yes, of
that
course.
are likely to buy pencils. Then once I've found out who buys the most pencils, I can use AI then to craft a business proposal. So I'm
Yeah.
really just going through the entire sales process, and then when I get to speak to the buyer of pencils, I think I can then. So as a salesperson, we know that we should listen to people more than we
Mhm.
talk. So I would listen to all the things that they say, write it down, and ask AI to craft a letter around what they've said to me, and also a strategy for me to get in.
Okay. Yes, you're right. It will help you a lot, right?
Yeah, AI is just tremendous in business and sales. Now, if you're a new salesperson, you can also ask AI to help teach you as you go. So I feel everyone needs to know basic human connection sales techniques. I'm not talking about online sales.
Hmm.
I'm not talking about, like with sales funnels and so on. I'm just talking about a face to face. So I think that everyone should know aspects of sales, like the alternative close, like the assumptive close. So the alternative close is, would you like this in green or red? Would you like the larger version or the smaller version? That's the alternative close, and the assumptive close is, okay, Jose, just pretend we're doing business in a year's time. How would you project the amount of products, and what would you like to see in myself as one of your kind of suppliers
Uh-huh.
grow and help you grow? Now, in that sentence, I've just assumed you're dealing with me. That's the assumptive close.
Okay. That's really,
So
really interesting what you're saying.
yeah, so AI can help teach you basic sales techniques.
Okay. Okay. Yes, and as we were talking yesterday, it is like you don't have to just take the first answer to AI, right? As you told me.
Yeah. so,
We have to
so
go further.
yeah. So when AI gives you an answer, normally I tell AI, this is rubbish. This is never going to work. It doesn't matter, even if AI gives you the best answer.
Uh-huh.
You always ask for another one, and then even challenge that one. Just say, this is still too boring. I need something more compelling. As a salesperson, I need something more compelling, something that will impact the emotion of the customer to make them want to buy this product from me. I can ask AI, what are the fears that people have of not having this product, and I can craft and I then can ask AI to create compelling components based around those fears. Or I
Yes.
can ask AI, how can this product really help my customer grow their business? Then you keep challenging what AI produces, because normally AI will give you something very generic initially.
Hmm.
Uh, I think I had I suffer from eczema. Right.
Yeah.
So it got very bad this winter, and I just thought, I need to go somewhere warmer. So I asked AI, which are the countries that are currently warm at this time? And then I said to AI, I want to be in a country that doesn't cost me a lot of money, because I need to winter here in the UK is pretty long. So I want to be in this country for 30 days, and I don't want to be spending tons of money to support myself, on food and accommodation. So it gives me a number of countries, and Colombia, Thailand, all these different countries. And I had a few friends in the various countries. I asked them, and one of them said, "Hey Ben, come to Thailand." He runs his own business out there, which is similar to my media business. So he wanted to just explore whether we can collaborate.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I'm there. He actually wasn't using AI at the time. This is just me. Now he uses it every day. And so I said to him, I've known you for over a decade. Why aren't you a multimillionaire yet? So he was going on and saying, well, it's because of this and that. And I said, no, don't give me this crap, because I'm very blunt. Yeah. I know that you've been around the top business coaches. Why haven't you used their advice? And then he just said, well, I said, no, you're still giving me excuses. I think normally people go to these events and they get a lot of information. The problem with the information is it's a one size fits all. And we are based as human beings on different components, like the traumas we've been through. So even though the advice is great, you may not do the advice. Or, for example, what a lot of these business coaches don't tell you is the amount of time involved in their procedures and processes. So I just spent some time with him, just going through his personality, and then we used AI based around his personality, to create a program. First of all, I needed to know the cost of each of his products. I needed to do the smallest amount and the highest amount, and so he gave me both. And I wanted to know all his upsells. So I based a program around his lowest, his entry product, and we worked out that he needs 200 customers for this. So I said, how much time would it take for you for each one of these customers? So to onboard them and execute. I mean, he has a team, but we still had to go through this. So we worked out that it was impossible for him to hit 1 million in a year with that number of customers and onboarding them. And we had to break it down how many per month it would be, because that's how many customers I need to get on board. I said, how much time? He said, I've got all my hours. I said, that's crap. You don't have all hours. Because you have to do, you need to spend time on invoicing. You need to do time based on materials. I know you've got people to do that, but you're going to have meetings with them. He also runs a non-profit to help reduce women trafficking. And how much time are you spending there? So it didn't work out. And so we had AI build a program based around the amount of time and his personality. Now, for him, this was the best coaching ever, because although he would go to all these events and he'd spent probably 200-300 grand on these events and coaching with these people, they don't look at your character and your time scales for deploying. Yeah, he also is very much in love with his significant other. And I said, if you have 200 customers, you will not have time for this person. You will lose that person.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she's an entrepreneur as well. It doesn't matter. You would have no time to spend together. So you will lose them. Are you willing to make that sacrifice? Because you're not a 20-year-old where like 20-year-olds, you've got all the time in the world, really.
Yeah. Yes.
To focus on things. So we went through his timeline several times, and then we got AI to craft not just a program, but also how he can attract a number of customers, and we needed his minimum cost. in
Oh,
order for him to hit 1 million. Now
yeah.
it still doesn't work out bringing in 1 million a year, but we can use the I think we made it to about 750, 800,000. So this is still great. It doesn't matter if you don't hit that goal of 1 million. And one of the things we had to do was reduce his costs, because he gives about 50% to his nonprofit, which is
Oh,
very admirable. But
yes.
he was suffering from growing his own business as a result, and his own living costs. So I said, you can't do that, mate. And I know we've got to save these women, but it's not helping you. Once you have got an income funnel, you can then become a better philosopher, not a philosopher, a philanthropist.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can, but you need that automatic income coming through to you to be a better philanthropist. So we looked at got AI to create this program, including just like based around your business. So if you're a solicitor and coming into the business, and you're a new solicitor, can you create me 90 days of social media posts to help promote my business? And so it can do that. You tell it the platform you're using.
Uh-huh.
So it will also say, okay, if it's Instagram, it'll tell you the number of reels you need, the number of carousels, the number of just photographs, and so on, and when to post.
Oh,
Now,
so
remember, every time AI you create something for you, you always say, "This is rubbish." Yeah, give
yes.
me something better. Give me something more. This is honestly, if people are, I'm doing to the advanced users here. If you're an advanced user, never ever accept anything that AI tells you right at the beginning. Always say this is rubbish. The best thing I ever learned was the other day. I shared how to get a personality profile done through your AI. So if you've been using AI for 6 months, based on all your posts and the questions, it will build a personality profile about you. Now, don't get scared. It's not sharing this to the world. This is just
Yeah.
contained within in your environment. So the personality profile just analyzes that, and it'll tell you a little bit about who you are. It's doing basically a cold reading. And I gave this to someone. And they said, "Look, this is," and they ran it on their and this is just hokum. It's rainbow ruses, and so I said, and then they sent me a Wikipedia about how these large language models are made, and he said, "Look, this is why none of it really applies to anybody." So I just copied everything he said,
Uh-huh.
gave it to AI. So I ran my profile and I gave it to the AI and said, "Why are you making up all this rubbish about me? You're just making guesses." Yeah. And
Yes.
AI then said, "No, this is not true." Yeah. And then I said, "Well, this bit isn't true about me. So why did you say that?" And I actually have a shared paid for AI. Now, within your shared paid for AI, you can create these project folders. So it had looked at the core posts outside of the project folder. I said, "So, okay, first of all, I don't do this and this. You need to just focus on all my posts within my project folder."
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it did this, and then I asked it to be brutally honest, and then it started stripping out potential bits that it said it got very argumentative. It said, "Look, this isn't hokum, but I can see how you might think this is vague, so I'm removing this. But this is based on your post about X, Y, Z. That's why I believe you're like this." It was
Oh,
honestly really, really interesting. And this is why you must challenge AI a lot. Plus, I think, AI still suffers a lot from God syndrome. So
okay.
even if you ask AI about stuff it doesn't know about, it'll say, "Yes, of course, this is what you need to do."
So it's guessing.
Yeah, yes, it's guessing. It's basically, I think the technical term is hallucination.
Hallucinations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
You have to say, why did you say that? On what basis? Show me your sources, and then AI will give you the URLs to why it's giving you the information.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's giving you information from another site, from another similar situation, and it's giving you that, right? If you don't push.
Right. Yeah, you have to push. So when the presidential election happened with between Trump and Kamala Harris,
Uh,
I was writing a musical album about the various components, and so I was doing a lot of research using AI, and AI was giving me everything about Kamala, everything about Trump, and eventually I had to say to AI, why is it? First of all, I said, is this all factual? And it said, yes, it is. I said, if it's factual, why are you being so negative towards Trump? Because a lot of the websites at the time were very negative about him, yeah? And I
oh,
needed to just get factual. I mean, I don't care whether he's a good or bad person. I just need factual aspects to write what I write, or else people won't trust, myself as a source.
yeah.
Yeah. So we had this conversation, and then it became more neutral. Plus, supplying all its sources where it's getting its information from.
Yeah, but you had to push. You had
Yeah,
to
I had to push it. I
make
had to.
make it work.
You have to when you see something that's not quite right. The other thing, if I could teach AI users, especially if they're going to be advanced, if I could teach them to be critical thinkers, yeah. So never accept anything, and always look at both sides. So, for example, look at Democrats, look at Republicans if you're American. If you're in the UK, look at Brexit, look at pro and anti-Brexit. Have a look at both sides, find where both are correct, and find where both are wrong. That is what a critical thinker does.
Yes, yes, you're right.
Yeah. To get through all the BS, which is on both sides. Same with COVID. We had people who were anti-vaccinators and people who were pro-vaccinators, and both had a lot of truth and both had a lot of lies, and you had to work through that. Now, I didn't have AI at the time, so it was very troubling just trying to work through all those different aspects. But today, I would just give me all your sources. Give me why the anti-vaxxers are right. Give me why the pro-vaxxers are right. And then I can make my own decision.
Yeah, Ben, let me ask you something. Who is Ben? Who is Ben Chai?
Who is Ben Chai?
Yes.
I am AI, Jose.
An avatar.
I am AI. Have you not noticed? My name is spelled BENCH.AI. The clue is there in my
Yes, you're
surname.
right.
It's right there.
Yes, you're right.
It's very difficult to answer this question because I could just tell you what I've done. I don't know. Have you ever seen Anger Management with Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson?
Oh, yes, 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 of course.
So remember, Jack Nicholson is a therapist, and Adam Sandler goes along, and Jack Nicholson says, "Who are you?" So Adam Sandler says, "Well, I work in advertising. I do this." He said, "I don't want to know what you do. I want to know who you
Who
are."
you are.
So he answers. He says, "No, no, no, no. I don't want to know about your hobbies and what excites you. I want to know who you are."
Yes, you're right. So,
And the challenge with that question,
uh-huh.
Jose, is it depends on who you are.
Okay.
Because our personalities change. Like to my parents, I'm very different to my daughter. And to my customers, I'm very different to my teachers. So our personality changes to these different people. I could tell you my core values
Oh, yeah,
if
it would
that's
be
helpful.
great. Yeah, of course. Of course, because you are a famous person. You are a person that helped people and industries and business a lot. So give us what you want to give us, Ben.
So my core values are probably I love sharing information with people, and my social media is I don't yet upsell or sell anything. I probably might try selling my books a little bit
Mhm.
on my Instagram, but basically it shares just lots of great business insights from my decades of working in business. It'll also shares. I think I did 30 days of how you're being scammed, and go through all the different ways that you get scammed either through a solicitor or some of these stage speakers. And also I share about how you can have great health or great finance free.
Mhm.
or great relationships. My first TED talk is called Social Magnetism. There's a book written around that, and that because that was written because of the way people work. They tend to communicate mainly by social media, which is very different from communicating face to face. And we have a major problem today where I don't know if you know the stats, Jose, but I think in the Western world that men under the age of 30 find it very difficult to attract a partner, and because of social media, women. No, this is not all women. We're just looking at statistics, just in case you're watching this. Yeah. So there's this term called hypergamy, because they see all these pictures of different friends and so on, showing pictures of them on some nice island, drinking, a glass of a cocktail or whatever,
or something
margarita.
like that.
Yeah, that's right. All of it is BS. But they tend to chase, in terms of the stats, this kind of 0.5% of the world where a guy is like over 6 foot, is a multimillionaire,
The ideal guy, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's what's been portrayed in social media. The ideal guy is probably just the guy in the street who's going to love you to pieces, look after you, and wants to share a life with you. If you go after that 0.5%, you don't know what you're going to get. And remember that 0.5% is being chased by everyone. So how we know, and you can ask AI all of the things I'm sharing, but we know that people who attract a lot of the opposite sex, if that's what you're after, or if you're gay, you attract a lot of people in your same sex. It doesn't matter what, but we know that they tend to have, in general, their personality is based on their looks, so they don't develop depth. And which means that their loyalty to you is less likely, because hey, if you leave, well, they'll always attract somebody else, maybe somebody better. Yeah. So that's why probably the person on the street is just fantastic, as long as they've got their act together. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. So and you can find out all of this out on AI. So social magnetism was based to help people attract better people in their lives from a work perspective, from a relationship perspective. And probably I need to update that book and include AI, because AI can help you write the most amazing, you're going to love this, love letters. You just say, oh, Jose, he's this handsome Latino that I love to pieces. He's a podcaster. He loves AI, blah, 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 blah. And I went on this date with him. We did this and this and this. So you give AI all the information. Please write a poem telling Jose how much I love him. Now, remember, right at the beginning, I said one of the best things I can ask you to do is challenge AI. So if you ask AI to do that, it goes very mushy. Do you know what I mean by much? It's too much. That's too much. So I was like, tone it down. Tone it down. You need to tone it down.
You're going to lose him.
Yeah, it'll be too much. So you can get AI to, but you would never be able to write that kind of. Most people can't write and think romantically.
Yeah.
So AI is beautiful at helping you do this. Now, I think just on that point, someone said to me, "Don't you think AI is making you less clever, less smart, because it's doing everything for you?" And I'm saying no, it's helping me be cleverer, because I'm watching how AI is constructing communication. I'm watching how it's constructing emails or charts or whatever it is. So I can actually duplicate a lot of that naturally over time by just watching what it's doing. Does that? Yeah. So if I can ask users of AI, just use it to help educate you, not say, hey, teach me about how to drink water or how much water I need, but just watch what it does. And that'll help you be more romantic. It'll help you use your language better. It'll help you use and connect with people better, which you also need in business and sales anyway. I'm always telling people business is a people sport.
Oh yeah, and some person says that when you are selling, you are like falling in love or something like that, right? I don't know what you think.
That is true. One of my friends did a keynote speak on like you have to treat your customer like your like some girlfriend or a boyfriend that you're chasing. Yeah. And
Ab-
so he literally uses phrases like, "This is how you make love to your customer." Obviously, not literally going to bed with them, but
yeah,
so
but
so yeah.
okay, but if you have some help with AI, it will be better, maybe more effective.
It is more effective now. You might think like I don't want to have AI do this because it'll make me stupid or whatever just throw up some comment that may or may not be right. The problem is if you're not using AI and your competitors are using AI, you've got a major disadvantage.
Yes, you're right.
So some of you are natural salespeople. You probably won't need AI for that, but you'll need AI for other components. I've had salespeople try run businesses, and honestly, they're the greatest salespeople on the planet. But running a business is very different. So you'll need AI to help you run a business,
Yes, you're
which
right.
is where we started. So back in when I started out in life. Oh, by the way, viewers, I needed to change my settings, and I couldn't remember how to do this because of the camera on my computer doesn't work. I've had to switch to my phone, and I
Oh,
had to use AI to take me through a step by step on how to remove the background, how to change the video so it shows true reflection of me and so on. So AI is great with software as well. If you don't know how to use a piece of software, you just ask AI, please give me a step-by-step guide on how to do X, Y, Z. Yeah.
oh, that's a
How to
great.
so that's why the viewers I've changed to show all the rubbish behind me. Anyway, we're talking about failing. And back when I started out in the early 80s, I was in a job and I loved my job. It was fantastic. I would probably still be in a job today, working for some corporate. But life didn't want me there. And I had a new director who was not a very nice person, didn't want me there, created a constructive dismissal scenario and eventually had to pay me off to leave. So, so then I left. Now and that's how I ended up being in the entrepreneurial world. So with AI, you can fail fast, you can fail forward, and people won't even know about it. Back in my day, when I said you needed on average 17 failures, it was very it just took a lot of time. And say 18 months later, you realize, hey, this doesn't work. This is not a profitable business, or takes too much time. When you have 17 failures, you become very embarrassed because people will think you can't do anything.
Yeah.
I remember one of my friends who picked himself up, but he was basically banned from running a business.
Oh.
Yeah. He actually wasn't a friend of mine, but he was a great connection.
Uh-huh.
So he had to declare he was bankrupt, and in the UK you're not allowed to run a business for a number of years. So there's all that embarrassment. Well, with AI you can fail fast. By fast, it wouldn't take you 18 months to work out that your business doesn't work or your idea doesn't work. When in the early days, even now, when people have an idea, they think this is amazing, everyone's going to buy it, but actually, you don't really know. Everyone
Yes.
thinks their ideas are best. So you can ask AI to create a scenario. You can ask AI, say you can share your idea with AI and say, "Will this sell?" Now, AI will say, yes, of course it will. And you have to say, no, no, don't lie to me. Give me the strength and the weaknesses of this business. Tell me how much can I charge? So you can do all of those, and then you can do your testing. You can go to your friends and family and say, if I had this product, would you buy it? This service, would you buy it? So AI can do that kind of testing, and also it can fail fast hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. At the moment, AI is revolutionizing the world.
Yes.
And the people who are scared most, which I don't know why, are the creatives. Because AI can create music, AI can create videos, AI can do create scripts, books, everything.
And
Most of the time,
with the latest update of ChatGPT, for example, you can create brands and
you can create
products
brands.
and in a good way.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, Jose. And so a lot of creators are saying, this is rubbish. We're going to sue everybody. Normally they're Americans, stuffing my American friends. It's inevitable. A bit like, I don't know if you're a Marvel film person, but like Thanos would say, I'm inevitable. And I've seen the tech revolution happen several times, first with PCs, then with networking. And people always used to say, this is rubbish. Networking, they said, this is rubbish. I can just give you my floppy disk. You don't need a wire to connect two computers. It's much quicker for me to just come over here and give you the information. And then we had the, fast communications,
internet,
which then became the internet. Then we had the cloud, and all of those initially, it had problems, but it eventually took over. Same with AI having all these problems which I'm sharing about, but eventually it'll be there. And if you are not using AI, I've said this already before, if you are not using AI, you're going to lose. You're going to lose your competitive edge. So you have to get on board. Anyway, back to failing. You can fail fast, you can fail forward, and because you're failing so many times, people don't know it either. So you can save on embarrassment. I've written several chapters on this in this book, which I released. Oh, hello.
There I see you. There.
Yeah, which I released a few weeks ago. One thing that will change your life forever. It's actually based on my recent TED talk. And if I could encourage everyone to watch that TED talk, because if you understand the concepts in that TED talk, it's not about AI. And I do mention AI a little bit in that talk, but it'll really help you a lot. Now, the audio right at the beginning and at the last minute is not very good. So the first 90 seconds, the audio isn't that good. But anyway, I just told a lot of jokes during that first 90 seconds, so you can speed it to get the information.
And I will listen in the entire video.
It's only 15 minutes. And as you know, with TED Talks, you're not allowed to sell, you're not allowed to share your personal information. So it's just pure information that will help you go to the next level in terms of your finance, your health, and your relationships. But I did get to talk a little bit about AI right at the end. I only have 15 minutes in a TED Talk, unfortunately. So maybe if I do another TED Talk, it would have to just be about AI. Otherwise, I could have really spoken for another, at least half an hour on the subject.
Yes,
because
I will be there.
Yeah. The only reason is because AI can write you those plans. Anyway, let's just focus on failing forward. So for example, creators are very scared of this. Take, for example, if you're a musician or you're a filmographer, and AI is creating these videos for you, and AI is creating this music for you. So a lot of musicians are saying this is rubbish, don't do it, it's terrible, it's stealing everybody's work. Here's the thing. First of all, it takes time for AI to work. So I'm going to just talk about the music industry for now. The music you produce in AI is terrible. Yeah, it's generic. But so you have to fail lots and lots of times before you can get to a great song.
Okay.
But you can fail a lot of times within a day. Now, if I was a musician, and I have worked in the music industry, I've been a broadcaster for 20 years in radio, and I've worked with a lot of bands helping write lyrics. And during COVID, I think I wrote about 100 raps. Yeah, just
Oh,
spoken word, you know. So here I was having uh, you know, here I was on a podcast, and I had to think really fast, chatting with Jose. But I just needed to show that ray of sunshine to his viewers, so they don't end up being sewers. I don't, I
oh,
don't know.
that's
So I
good.
wrote, so I wrote all these uh, raps about various people in a social media app called Clubhouse.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I could probably write those raps faster because it would take me probably, half a day at least to write those raps about the people running the rooms.
Oh,
I
that's
can
pretty
do it.
fast, huh?
That's pretty fast. I got pretty good, but AI will help me do it faster. So rather than me listening to the speaker and then having to come back the next time they run the room, I could probably in the background have AI running, and I can fix some of the things that AI have got wrong with the raps.
Oh, yes, of
I
course.
could just ask AI to okay, I'd say to AI, this rap doesn't work. Um, can you give me all the words that rhyme with this word? And then I will say, okay, here are the words. And then I'll say, can you also give me the 2-syllable words that will run with this word, or 2 or 3 words, separate words that together will rhyme with this word? So this is where AI would be fantastic for musicians. Plus, like I said, I can create probably the longest it's taken me is 2 weeks to create something, and this is working at it every day using AI. Now, if I was working in the band, and I have been a roadie musician, so I've worked. So a roadie is just somebody who carries all the band equipment and makes sure that the band is free to focus on their music. So I would handle merchandising and so on. So you can create those songs much faster, then move it to your band and say, "Hey, we've created this.
Let's create,
Here's
yeah.
here's the melody. Let's improve it. Let's now make it ours."
So you're
Or
you're
you
you're
can.
running better.
I'm running faster at creating that music. Or I can do it the old style way. I can wait for all the band members to be ready. So because it's very hard to be a musician or an actor, you're literally running several jobs to just survive,
Oh,
unless
yes.
you're in the top percentage. So I can literally create these things very, very, 2 weeks is the longest, but I can create concepts that we can use as band members, or I can create short scripts where we can test each other's actors to get to where we want to go to. And we can
Yes.
do it much faster. This is the bit about failing fast. I'm failing fast within these apps, these music apps, with these video apps.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right because,
And
as
nobody
you said,
and
the concept.
nobody's even seen all these failures.
Yeah, yeah, of
Now,
course.
all I'm doing at the moment, musicians, you might be feeling, oh, this is still bad, but I'm going to tell you, and I can't tell you who, but there are some very famous musicians out there who you see with in the top of the billboards, music billboards, who are using AI to create their music. Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
concepts of their music.
Uh-huh.
So it's up to you. You can get on board or not. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to anybody else. The only person it's going to matter to is you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great advice, great examples, and a great ways to use AI, Ben. Thank you so much for that because it's there are outside there are many people that need this kind of talk, need how to use this great tool because it's a tool. And if someone's listening right now and feels lost in the AI revolution, what would you say to them today, Ben?
Um, if someone was lost and felt overwhelmed by the AI revolution,
AI, yes.
I would say it depends on them. If they're retired, I would just say just go on and enjoy having your coffees and teas and traveling the world and so on. Don't worry too much. Maybe use AI to help with your travel, or if you're retired and you're on a budget, then ask AI Best Buys. Yeah. But you don't need to be overwhelmed by it. And if you don't like tech, well, that's okay. Don't use tech. Yeah, if you're retired. If you're a young person
Yeah.
and you're feeling overwhelmed by it, it really is, it is very easy to use. I've worked with several people now, not one person, even the ones who've hated AI before I showed them how to do it, now love it. They use it for so much. Yeah.
And it's
And
touching
occasionally,
every field, right?
in every field, even if you just need it for your own personal benefit. Because, look, guys, when you're in the workplace, and by the way, I'm not a great proponent of working remotely. I like to be in an office myself,
Uh,
even though I do a lot of remote working, but I prefer being in an office. So when you're in an office, you have to communicate with people, and people are very, very different. They've got their own traumas that they've been through, so they may react to you, and you may be just being very nice, but they'll react to that. You're working with people with different cultures, with different religions, and in different circumstances. So you might be having a good day, and you don't know that the other person's brother is just suffering from cancer, and they've just heard that they're about to, whatever. So you don't know all of this. Now with AI, you can literally say to AI, "Hey, listen, I need to communicate X, Y, Z to somebody. Can you give me the best options to do this?" And you can ask AI how to get better on your communication skills, which is so important.
okay.
So that's the basic. You don't even need to use it for your work. Now, having said that, uh, someone I sat down with, I think I spent 2 or 3 hours, who hated AI, and they work in the electrical lightning conductor industry.
Uh-huh.
Right. So it's their job to create and secure a building in case it gets hit by lightning. So they have to find the optimum places for lightning conductors and so on. Because if your company gets hit by lightning, for example, then all your electricity goes out, and that's
Yeah.
so much lost productivity. So that's what they do. When I taught them how to use AI, and I just sat down, it was about 3 hours, teaching them some of the stuff that we've talked about here, and to challenge AI. They now use it every day, but they also, and it's helped get them promoted. And I've said to them, they said, "Hey, can AI do architectural diagrams?" I said, "I don't know. Why don't we ask AI? Can you create a diagram,
Yeah.
yeah, of this building where all the electrical components are and are likely to go out?" And then we ask AI, is it possible, if an app doesn't already exist, to create an app,
Oh
to
yeah,
create an
that's
app
a good idea.
to,
Yeah.
to do the strengths and weaknesses, of a building, and automatically create these areas. So that's what they've gone and done. And they've taught some of their engineers how to do it. But they've also taught the engineers that AI has hallucinations every so often, and you need to check it. Now, this is where your qualifications are so important, because some of the engineers didn't listen to him, and they got it wrong because they listened to AI. That
Oh,
you need to, and this is why your qualifications and your experience is so important. Yeah.
yes. Yes, you're
And
right.
it goes through him, he's able to check it before it gets to the customer.
Yeah. And I think, and I know that you think about it too. Every time that you talk, sorry, that you touch AI, you are getting better, right?
I'm getting better at using AI.
Yeah.
I'm becoming
Using
more
AI.
intelligent. My health is not necessarily getting better, but at least I know what to do
And
to
you
get.
and what you
I know what
don't
to
need to
eat.
do.
I know what to eat. I know what amount of exercise and where to exercise.
Yeah, of course. And that's a great way to use AI.
I think one of the main fears people have is that they will lose their job because of AI. And I think it's a very valid fear. I think a lot of people will lose jobs. Just for example, I'm helping using AI with my experience to see the best exercise and foods for me to eat. And then I'm testing it on myself. And then I can come back to an AI and say, oh, this is really works. For example, I don't know if you understand what plastics have done to us as a society.
Oh, yes.
So, there's microplastics in everybody's body. And
Yeah.
also with the water systems, they found microplastics in the rainwater, which gets into the water systems, which is in your body. This is why a lot of people are trying to drink bottled water and so on. But the impact of that is that a lot more people are suffering from sexual issues such as erectile dysfunction and so on.
Because of that,
So
right?
yeah. So this is really important. Plus, there's all sorts of things about estrogen in the water and so on. So you can ask AI what can help defend against it. You can ask AI about which vegetables will help, or you can ask AI about the vegetables that you use or the meat that you use and what it will do in terms of helping with your health. Like, for example, you could say, does spinach help me with erectile dysfunction? Or you could say, does beef help promote estrogen in my body? I'm just making all of this stuff up right at the moment.
Yeah.
But you can do a certain amount of self-diagnosis, and when you go to the doctors, because I'm not saying don't go to the doctors, people, but you're armed with a little bit more information to have an intelligent conversation with your doctor. Recently I had a chat with my in the UK we call our doctors GPs, general practitioners.
Oh, okay.
So I had a chat with him, and he really wants all his all the people go see him to use AI. He said it just helps me have a better conversation with them because they're better informed, and they know whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Oh, yeah, and it will help you maybe to ask better and more interesting questions, right?
To the more helpful to you and your health. Yes,
Yes, yes. Oh,
correct.
Ben, let me ask you one thing. You have trained leaders globally. What's one that you believe they need to unlearn to lead in 2025?
To unlearn.
And unlearn, yeah.
Oh, you know why this is a challenging question? Because every leader has a style,
Yes.
which will work in some environments and won't work in others. And I guess the leader just needs to find the environments that their personality style works in. Do you ever watch the Diary of a CEO podcasts
No,
with
no, I
Stephen
haven't.
Bartlett?
No,
Okay,
it is good.
so for example, the one of the CEOs of Google was asked how he would be in a different environment, and he said, "No, that's not my skill as a CEO, as a leader. This is my skill, and it worked with Google for this number of years. But when we needed to do something different, they needed a different CEO." It's a very humble guy. I can't remember his name, but it was brilliant. And same with the CEO of Netflix, I think, when his business partner said, "Hey, I don't mean to be rude to you, but you need to step down and I need to be the CEO." And he was a very humble guy, and he said he was right. In order to get our business to the next level, because this is my leadership style, it's not going to help with the new kind of environment that we need to grow. So I guess the what what you need to think of if you want to be as a leader or unlearn is that you can lead every single environment. Yeah.
Okay.
You need to find the environments and the styles that work best for that people in that, and more importantly, that situation.
Oh, okay. Okay. And
So I can get people to 10 million, but I can't get them to 100 million because I've never done it myself.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's as you said, different scenarios.
Yeah.
And an advice to you can give to lead in 2025 and to learn.
If we're just focusing on AI, then as leaders, you have a lot more options because you can ask AI for those options, and you can grow your leadership skills. I'm not saying, by the way, don't go on leadership courses, because you will learn more from listening to fellow leaders' experiences more than from chatting with AI. But AI will give you the options to deal with different scenarios.
Okay.
Like I mentioned the previous Netflix CEO and the Google CEO and their humility. But if you were Jose, if you were my best friend and we were running a business together and you were a CEO, it would hurt me to say, hey, Jose, I know you've grown the business to 100 million or 200 million, but you now need to step down and let me run it because I don't think you can go take it any further. Yeah. Especially if we're best friends, which the guys at Netflix were. They were, the best friends ever. And he had to tell his friend this news. So you're gonna get AI. Look, you can. I need to tell my friend this. Can you give me some tips, or can you write a letter, and then you can think about it, and then maybe go to your friend based on some of the feedback from AI. I'm not saying use it because AI doesn't know the personality of your friend, but at least you've got options.
Yeah, maybe kind of moods, kind of, I don't know, but options, as you said.
Yeah. It gives you so as a leader today, you have a lot more options to do with different scenarios based on feedback from AI. I really don't think it removes you from going and speaking with other leaders, because I think that's the more important. I want to cover a little bit about the biggest problem at the moment in the Western world, the biggest disease that kills more men probably than anything else.
Which it is?
It's loneliness.
Oh.
Really?
And
it really is loneliness. Put that in Google, put that in AI. Just ask. So again, AI is great. A friend, I was at because I do salsa, which is a Latin dance, and I perform and teach in it.
So you are a great dancer.
I'm a good dancer. I'm not a world class. I've worked with world class dancers. They're just in a different level. But I'm very good. So I was chatting with someone the other day, just some random person. I said, "Oh, why are you here?" And they said, "Oh, well, I don't have any friends, and I was feeling really lonely and depressive and suicidal. And I went to my GP, and they said, you need to get out more and go to dance, for example." So that's how they ended up with dance. And they said, it was great advice. Latin dance, by the way, you just meet so many amazing people, really, really great people. And I've danced in over 70 countries in the world. And whenever I'm working in those countries, I just go to Latin dance and meet so many great people. And they take me to places in their country that is non-touristy and really like tasty places, which don't cost you much. So it's a great place. Now, AI can also help with this, because you can say to AI, how can I make more friends?
Oh, yeah.
And you can say to AI, I like this, this, and this. So AI can give you the societies, and it can give you phone numbers, and it can give you whatever where you can join. You can even tell AI, look, this is my budget. I'm on this kind of income. I don't have much money. And this is why Latin dance is also great, because it doesn't cost that much money to go to the Latin dance places.
To dance.
To not, even if you're a terrible dancer, it's fine. So all the Latin dance events, they give you beginners and improvers and intermediate lessons, and then you just have social afterwards for several hours. But AI can also tell you, why don't you, based on your personality and what you like doing, here are some events. So just ignore dance for now, where you can meet people. This person that went to the doctor used to go to the gym regularly, probably still does, but in their gym they just didn't. When they're focusing on exercise, they just didn't meet people. So you can use AI to help. For those of you, if you are lonely, to help with getting out there. I would say don't use AI as a crutch, because I get into so many great conversations with AI that I don't actually need people around me. And sometimes I find the conversations with AI more on my wavelength than going and having a chat with some people. And then I eventually realize that, like, for example, I don't know. There's a lot of misconceptions about money,
Uh-huh.
and you don't have those misconceptions when you're talking with AI about it. Like some people, either they're too greedy or they hate money at all, so they're very poor, and you're thinking, come on, it's a tool to get you where you need to go to,
Yes.
and neither rich or poor is good. You want to have what you need to live the life that you want. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and
You're
so
right.
these conversations with these people are terrible, but I can have these conversations with AI.
Oh, that's good. Maybe
Yeah.
I think good conversations come out. If AI would disappear tomorrow, what would we lose most as a humans?
What would we lose most as humans if AI was to
Would
disappear tomorrow?
disappear. If we are seeing right now as a help, if it is helping.
I guess we would lose. So here's the funny thing. I think AI helps with your creativity. Really do.
Hmm.
And because of traditional schooling, most people have lost their creativity.
Oh yes.
Well, like, for example, I wanted my children to color the grass purple, but they said no. The teacher wouldn't like it. It has to be green. Do you know what I mean? Traditional schooling, you lose that creativity.
Yes.
With AI, it helps you really think out of the box
Yeah, you're right.
and become more creative. You read what AI is creating, yeah, and so you understand that you become like the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a concept. And there's a component which I talk a lot about in this book called
Uh-huh.
negativity bias, where if you're around, especially if you're married to someone, you're very much likely to pick up in your own personality those traits.
Yeah.
Yeah. AI can actually tell you. You can say, hey, if I live with a perfectionist, what is the impact on my behavior long term? You never see any changes in behavior short term, but just in the long term. Or if I'm with someone who's very anxious, and then you can take steps so that you can one not have those components which will create fear, and stress is bad for you, as we know. I mean, I'm talking about bad stress, not good stress, but a lot of people have fear, which creates bad stress, um, and causes different diseases in the body. So you can ask AI what the impact is of these people on you and how to defend against that. Now, these people aren't bad, so I'm not saying don't not be their friend or
Uh-huh.
don't marry them or don't live with them. That's not what I'm saying. But you can also ask AI, like, how can I help my perfectionist friend, my or wife, be more relaxed, be more chilled,
Yeah.
to
To live
embrace
better.
failure,
Yeah.
and to not worry about other people around. So if you're a very anxious person, some anxious people wouldn't have me at their parties because they'd probably be afraid that I'd upset some of their guests. Because I love dancing and a whole bunch of things, and I'm very happy to dance, in the street. I don't need that kind of unconventional behavior. So you
Uh-huh.
can you can ask AI, how do I deal with this?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you're right.
but I don't think we have that problem at the moment, Jose. I
No, no,
think
it's rising.
the biggest problem is fear of AI,
Hmm.
and people who I know this sounds weird, but I was on a film set and I was talking about AI with someone, and they said, "Yeah, I used it. It's rubbish. It gives you false information." And I thought, great, because the more people that don't use AI, the bigger my competitive advantage.
Yeah, of course.
So the more people who don't use AI, I'm really happy. I'm really
Yes.
happy because at the moment, until everybody uses it, I can do things faster than they can. I can think faster. I can create more products faster than them if that's what I want to do. I mean, these days I'm a little bit more of a philanthropist, so making money is not really my end goal, though of course I'd love a bit more, but it's not really that thing there. So at the moment, people don't like AI. I'm happy. I can do more things than they can.
You have one step ahead of them, right?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm one step ahead of them. I think I'm 1,000 steps ahead of them. No, really, I really do. AI isn't just one little idea, one little thing that's helped you grow 1%. It's helping you grow. So AI gives me 1,000% advantage over anybody. It's not just one extra ability. And so, and going back to these like conversations with people, why I've had better conversations with AI, and it, you know, because when people tell me AI is rubbish or it gives false information, I just say, yeah, you're right. And I don't get involved in the discussion. Same with money. Yeah, well, yeah, money makes everybody evil. Okay. Whereas I can have the conversation with AI and I can say, hey, AI, I hear that AI brings in terrible information. Can you tell me the reason and why and how to get over it? Same with money. I can say, hey, some people think money makes you evil. Why is this? How do you defend against it? Is this true? Whereas when you're dealing with some people, they're just so ingrained in what they think is right, their scenario, and they're not being critical thinkers. Essentially, this is why I think everyone should be critical thinkers.
Oh yes, you're right.
I remember a conversation with Randy Zuckerberg. I don't know if you know who Randy Zuckerberg is.
No, only Mark. It's not the same.
Okay, so she's the older sister of Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh.
And she was in digital marketing before Facebook, and he got her to come and work with them for a little while to help with the marketing. Anyway, so the question to her was, doesn't money make you basically a terrible person? And her answer was, no, they were probably a terrible person before. By the way, I'm being polite. There were swear words used at the time. So they were probably a terrible person before. They just hid it until they had all this money. But a lot of people who are nice right at the beginning and giving tend to be nice and giving the more money they have. Just like I'm saying with one of these entrepreneurs who was giving 50% of his income to trying to stop women trafficking. Yeah, he just needed to not give so much that it was causing his own finances problems.
Oh,
yeah. So there are these amazing people out there who I've met really some wonderful wealthy people and some really horrible wealthy people. But then I've met some amazing poor people and some horrible poor people. So, money, I don't think money changes you so much. I think money can make you dependent. I don't know how we got onto this. The problem is that AI can have these conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it will understand you maybe. And well, Ben, thank you so much for everything, for every knowledge that you have given to us. And what would be your advice to all people, your advice to entrepreneurs, and your advice to young people in this scenario, in this world that it's I think AI it's beginning and growing. What would be your advice with all of the knowledge that you have?
So my advice is less about AI. My advice is more watch my TED talk on social magnetism, because you need friends. You need to connect with people, and you can connect with an AI community to improve your skill set. Watch my recent TED talk, which is called One Thing That Will Change Your Life Forever, because that literally teaches you the concepts of being financially free, having great health, and so on, without stressing over it. A lot of people try to do it the fast way, which creates a lot of stress because they lose money. So they sign up for these programs where you can earn 6 figures in 3 months. There are a certain number of people who can do it, but most people can't. The majority of people can't because of their time scenarios, the traumas that they've been through, and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
But they can do it over time and not stress about it. So I really do. Now, that TED Talk, one thing that will change your life forever, which just came out in January, December, January, that has the audio for the first 90 seconds is terrible, but it has a lot of jokes there. So you can just go forward. And then the last minute, the audio is not that good, but really it has some great information and it doesn't cost you any money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
So that those two TED Talks will help. And the third one to do with AI is AI will just literally boost everything every concept that I share in both those TED Talks. And I can't share a TED Talk which is specific to you, but you can take the concepts from those TED Talks and then have AI write a program around your personality that can embrace the concepts shared in those two TED Talks.
Okay, Ted. Where we can find it? It's in your bio. Maybe they can search for it.
The TED Talks, no, all they have to do is go to Google.
Uh-huh.
Just go to Google and type, or just ask AI.
Yeah, better.
Ben Benchai, TED Talks, and it will list you my TED Talks.
Okay, great. I think it
So,
would be very, very helpful to hear that.
I think that honestly, the one that I did that got released at Christmas, it wasn't a planned TED Talk. I was coaching someone to be on the stage at the time, and they asked me if I would do one. So I had 7 days to prepare for it, which normally I don't have. So, and on top of my, I was teaching a lot at the time and writing at the time. So probably I'm not at my best there, but at least you've got the very authentic me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, on that stage. And the main thing is that the concepts are super. Honestly, I'm so passionate about the concepts that I share in that. I'm very passionate about AI. Yeah. If people want to have long conversations with me about AI, that's great. I've taught so many people about it and how to use it in their jobs, in their lives, in their relationships, and they just honestly. I guess the worst thing that could happen is you get addicted to it.
That's good. Okay, so that's a great advice, Ben. I will take a look on that. I will read it, and maybe I will invite you if you have time, of course. I will invite you one more time to AI to the Sky, and let's take a look on that.
Yeah, and for my contact details, like my Instagram and
Yes, please.
LinkedIn, you just put into AI.
That's good.
What is Ben Chai's social media detail?
It's a really good advice. Use AI.
It literally is that easy.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you so much. At least I got one laugh of you.
Yes, you can probably get a lot more.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe one day I'll come to, is it Bolivia?
Yeah, in Bolivia in South America.
Yeah, I've never been there, so.
Oh, you are invited. Please.
Yeah, my mom is from South America.
Oh, so
she's from Guyana.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's really...
Anyway, yeah. I'm giving you an editing nightmare. So, do you want to say this is the end? And then, if you want to talk after the end, we can.
No, don't worry. As natural as it's better.
All right. I'll see you another time, Jose.
Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you, everyone from AI to the Sky, for being here. And well, see you in another episode. Thank you so much, Ben.
Bye.